Hi, welcome to our channel of IGNOU Audiobooks. Indira Gandhi National Open University, School of Continuing Education, Certificate Programs, Certificate in Food and Nutrition, CFN, CFN1 You and Your Food. Block 2, Food Choice, Preparation and Preservation, Unit-9 Let US make food safe to eat. In this unit, you are going to learn the general rules of personal and food hygiene. These rules, if observed, would result in the prevention and control of contagion. 9.0 Objectives. You are listening to this audiobook on Audio Learn IGNOU. After studying this unit, you will be able to observe general rules of personal and food hygiene while handling and cooking food. Describe how food can act as an agent of transmitting infection, and enumerate steps that you would take to prevent the spreading of contagion through food. 9.1 Introduction. In Block 1 you learnt about the various functions of food, food consumption, and basic food groups. You have also learnt in earlier units of Block 2 how to choose the right kind of food and prepare it using a variety of methods to ensure retention of texture, taste and nutrients. Are you, however, aware that you have to do a number of additional things before you really consume the food? You go to the market, select and buy proper food, and perhaps store it for some time before you cook and eat it. At each stage the chances of food getting contaminated is very high. Therefore, if you wish to derive the maximum benefit from the money spent on food, you must take precautions in handling, cooking and serving of food so that it is safe to eat. In this unit, we shall learn about what steps we can take to ensure that the food we eat is safe and free from infections. 9.2 Food Safety. Food safety in recent times has become an important health issue in response to the increasing problem of foodborne illness both in the developing and developed countries. It is concerned with acute and chronic hazards that make food injurious to health of the consumers. Food safety can be defined as an assurance that food will not cause harm to the consumer when it is prepared or eaten according to its intended use. Do you know that the year 2008-09 had been declared as Food Safety and Quality Year? 9.3 Food and Personal Hygiene. Food hygiene refers to all conditions and measures necessary to ensure the safety and suitability of food at all stages of the food chain. Food hygiene is an important factor which influences the effect that the food has on the body. This is because food is a potential medium through which contagious diseases can be transmitted. Hygiene in food preparation thus becomes very important to prevent any contagion from being spread through food. To observe high standards of food safety and hygiene, you must take the following precautions to maintain personal hygiene. 1. Wash your hands with soap and water and wipe them with a clean cloth before working with food. 2. Keep your nails short and clean. 3. If you have any cuts or wounds on hands or fingers, cover these with dressing before handling food. 4. If you have any septic cuts or other infections, you should not handle food. 5. Do not touch hair, nose or any other part of your body while working with food. 6. You must avoid sneezing and coughing over the food. 7. Do not lick fingers in between for tasting food, and if you use a spoon for tasting, do not return it to the food without washing. 8. You must keep the whole place clean, including the utensils and dishes in which you prepare and serve the food. 9. To keep the food free of flies and dust, you must keep the cooked and cut foods covered and use waste bins with lids. 10. While serving food, you must not touch the food surface with your hands. If you observe the points given above in handling and preparation of food, you would have food which is safe and free from possible harmful bacteria. Practical Activity 1. A. Recall how many of the above-mentioned good habits you observed while preparing food yesterday. List these. B. Observe any one of your friends preparing food and note down her/his good and undesirable habits. 9.4 Preventing spread of diseases. You have just learnt about the general practices that you must follow in order to make food safe and prevent nutrient loss. Unit 8. Now let us see what specific diseases can be caused by eating contaminated food, and what you can do to prevent the spread of these diseases through food, water, cooking and serving utensils, and food handling. 9.4.1 Preventing spread of disease through food. Diseases like enteritis, typhoid, paratyphoid, dysentery and cholera are caused by microorganisms which spread through food and water. Tuberculosis may also spread through milk or other food. A specific type of microorganism present in an acid type of canned food can sometimes result in a deadly disease like botulism, and various molds present in the canned food can lead to food poisoning. Milk is a very good medium for the growth of microorganisms and may become a vehicle for the transmission of diseases like diphtheria, typhoid, paratyphoid, cholera, dysentery and scarlet fever. Fortunately, our practice of boiling milk destroys all the disease-carrying microorganisms and makes it safe to drink. It is important for you to realize that parasites like hookworm, etc., spread through fruits, vegetables, greens and other foods which grow close to the soil, because this soil often gets contaminated with the excreta of humans and animals. To ensure that these fruits and vegetables get freed from these microorganisms, you must wash them very thoroughly in clean water and if possible soak these in a solution of potassium permanganate or ordinary salt solution. 9.4.2 Preventing spread of disease through water. Water is also a major source of contagion. Water is collected from many different sources, and if the source is not a protected one, it may have a very high potential for spreading many diseases. If your supply of water is from an unprotected source, you must boil and or filter the water before drinking it. 9.4.3 Preventing spread of disease through utensils. Often you would have observed the utensils being cleaned with soil. If the soil used is collected from places which are trodden over by men and animals, this soil becomes a major source of infection. If the economic conditions do not permit the use of soaps and detergents, then ash should be used. Ash is sterile and safe for cleaning utensils. Have you noticed that many times, only one napkin is used for cleaning the cooking platform and wiping the utensils? This is one of the major sources of infection through utensils. Pathogenic organisms may spread from diseased persons to others if the utensils used by them are not cleaned properly. Therefore, such utensils should be thoroughly cleaned and sun-dried. You are listening to this audiobook on Audio Learn IGNOU. 9.4.4 Preventing spread of disease through food handling. To protect yourself from infection and disease, take care to eat only at those places which are clean and tidy in the cooking and serving areas and where the foods are kept covered, and thus, protected from flies and other insects. When you eat out, select only those foods which require minimum handling by food handlers and that are prepared and served preferably in disposable dishes. Avoid eating food at wayside eateries. Remember, infections from food can be spread through fruits and vegetables growing close to soil, milk and water, contaminated utensils. Cooks and food handlers, check your progress. Exercise 1.1. List 3 ways in which contagion spreads. A, B, C. 2. How can you make water safe to drink? 3. List 3 diseases for which milk could serve as carrier. Practical exercises 2.1. Observe and record the practices related to food hygiene adopted for the following in your home. A. Food preparation. B. Food service. C. Storage of food and water. D. Storage of leftovers. A. Disposal of food waste. 2. Identify the right practices from the above. Identify the wrong practices and suggest modifications to correct them. 9.5. Let us sum up. Food is an ideal medium through which infections can be transmitted. This can happen directly through the contaminated fruits, vegetables, milk and water, or indirectly through contaminated cooking and serving utensils and cooks and food handlers. To make our food safe and free from infections, we must be hygienic in handling food and its preparation. We must ensure personal cleanliness of surroundings in which the food is prepared and served, and also wash the foods thoroughly before use. We must also take care to keep the flies and insects away from food, as these contribute significantly to the spreading of contagious diseases. 9.6. Glossary. Food handler, a person engaged in either purchase, preparation, or serving of food. Hygiene, principles of maintaining health, practice of these. E.g. by cleanliness. Microorganisms, the organisms which are very small and not visible to the naked eye. Parasites, animal or plant living in or on another and drawing its nutrients directly from it. Pathogenic organisms, harmful microorganisms which cause diseases in the body. 9.7 Answers to check your progress. Exercises. Check your progress. Exercise 1. 1. The 3 ways in which contagion spreads. A. Through food and water. B. Through contaminated utensils. C. Through cooks and food handlers. 2. Collect water from a protected source. If the supply of water is from an unprotected source, one must boil or filter the water before drinking it. 3. Diphtheria, typhoid and cholera. Thank you. We will see you in the next video.